chamber. I'm curious what that would entail.
And render his opponents obsolete. No side effect. Balor got caught. Side effect. Matt Hardy now from the second rope. It's just he and Bray in the ring. Big opportunity for Matt here. Back to the back of the net. Looking for the twist of fate. Oh, my Lord.
Rollins plays spoiler and takes out Matt Hardy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night Raw is live tonight in San Jose, California. This is a fatal five-way match. The final elimination chamber qualifying.
We'll be up in just a moment, guys. I'm waiting for Raw to finish up here, and I just want to share this out. Please feel free to share this out with all your friends, enemies, otherwise.
Miz, Elias, Strowman, Cena, and Reigns inside the elimination chamber. High stakes matchup. Seth Rollins, double blockbuster. And Rollins is in this match, guys, because the WWE Universe forced General Manager Kurt Angle's hand earlier tonight. And that's what it's about. An opportunity perhaps to go to WrestleMania.
And right now it's all or nothing.
Suicide dive.
You win, you're in. You don't, well, you're not.
And on the other side, a suicide dive by Rollins.
Rollins is flattening anyway, and everybody.
And down goes Wyatt. Rollins says he wants to be Monday Night Raw.
Now his focus has got to be on Apollo Crews.
Rollins has Crews in his sights. Thinking about it. Suplex rolled through. Look at the power of
And
Rollins.
Seth Rollins with the double arrow to Crews. Cover by Rollins. Is he going to the chamber? Oh, and Crews kicked out, and Titus O'Neil in the far portion of your screen brings a sigh of relief.
Credit the incredibly powerful lower body of Apollo Crews for being able to kick out after the two suplex Falcon Arrow combination from Rollins. The playing field is as close to even as it's been all night right now. This could come down to which superstar makes it to his feet first.
Minus the Elimination Chamber, this is kind of what I expect it to look like on Sunday night in Las Vegas. Bodies everywhere.
And a knee right to the spine of Crews. The Elimination Chamber 2 weeks away. WWE Network pay-per-view event. That step up in Zaguri by Rollins, and Bray Wyatt is dazed. So, clothesline.
Good night.
Playing awesome.
Wyatt about decapitating the Kingslayer with that.
Cover by Bray, hooks the leg now, and a kick out by Seth at 2.
Listen to the impact. And if that doesn't collapse a lung or fracture your sternum, I don't know what will.
And Balor now, sling blade to Wyatt. And now, there's that drop kick driving Wyatt into the corner. He is in the drop zone for Finn Balor. He's going up top, looking for the move that won the Universal Championship. And Seth Rollins meets Balor there. This is not going to be good as Balor now looks to prevent.
Uh-oh. What could Rollins possibly have in mind here?
Nothing ever good happens up there. Oh my God!
Ray rolled through on the Phoenix Splash.
And Bray Wyatt caught him in his sister Abigail. Matt Hardy back in. Twist of fate to Wyatt. Cover. Matt Hardy looking to go to the chamber. Oh, to the stomp to the back off the top rope. And now Rollins with a stop of his own. Rollins cover. Hook of the leg. Is Rollins going to the chamber? Crews breaking things up.
Apollo Crews preserving his own opportunity.
Wild action here tonight. Apollo Crews with a last ditch of momentum, an opportunity, and Rollins now fighting back. And look at Rollins go, forearms after forearms to the jaw. Seth Rollins fired up. Got a new lease on life here tonight.
They knew they would have to. Beating 3 others is one thing.
Wow. That military press by Crews. Rollins misses with a wild kick. Crews now. Oh, my Lord. And now a standing moonsault. Connecting. Cover. Both legs hook. Crews going on camera and a kick out.
Apollo Crews with a nice deep double leg hook, but it wasn't quite enough to keep Rollins down for 3. If Apollo can somehow continue the attack, this is a big-time opportunity for Titus Worldwide.
That is the carnage of this fatal 5-way. Again, Crews with the believable standing moonsault. Almost brought Crews to the chain.
Extra torque on the beautiful moonsault. 240-plus pounds crashing down.
You saw Titus O'Neil in the NXT has.
All right, folks, we'll be up in just a couple seconds here. Everybody should be able to hear me on the mic. Just letting the chat room fill up, letting Raw finish up here.
And now the standing shooting star. Cover. Is it enough? Punch the leg. Is it enough here? Kick out.
Unbelievable. Apollo Crews got all of that when you saw that.
As you can see, my computer's right over there, so
Was completed
my laptop's what I'm doing this show on, and computer's over there, so I'm just checking occasionally over for comments, queries, etc., all that great stuff.
You have to learn how to win. You have to learn how to operate at this big-time level. That's what Apollo Crews has to do right now.
Apollo Crews digging deep into his arsenal, but Matt Hardy with the interruption.
Matt Hardy running interference.
I will have to say this
Blows right to
Fatal 5-Way is a little bit more than I thought it would be. Oh my god.
Looking for a side effect from up there.
Everybody likes a good spot fest once in a while, and that's what the main event's turning into here.
Dangerous situation. Apollo Crews just trying to survive. And now Bray Wyatt goes right after his arch enemy. Outside the ring. Oh, Sister Abigail. Lights out. At least for the moment, Hardy may have been taken out of the equation.
Roman, I need to count to 50. Matt Hardy's not getting back up anytime tonight.
50, 75. Whoa, count to 1 million.
Bray Wyatt's back on his feet.
Sorry, I guess the chat is a little bit...
Hardy down.
The stream is a little bit behind the actual live feed, but...
How useful is it being in the driver's seat?
I just wanted to make sure that this stream is up and is actually working, so... That's why I started a little early here, folks.
Bray Wyatt now going up top. This sadistic Bray Wyatt, no telling what he's got on his mind. Now Finn Balor back in the mix. Seth Rollins as well.
Well, they were going to get that Tower of Doom one way or the other.
Balor cover. Rollins cover. Shoulders down.
Oh, God. Another dusty finish.
Who the hell won?
Well, they both think they won.
They both did win.
How can they both win?
I don't know. I mean, Rollins and Balor both had it covered. Both
The hell?
of Bray Wyatt's shoulders were down for 3.
I don't think either one of them realized what the heck happened. The officials trying to figure things out. Who won the match? Who's going to the chamber?
Who knows? Only one of them.
Ugh. Sorry, folks. Let me just change this up here for a second. There you go. First of all, folks, we'll start this in 1 second here. I'm going to let this chat room fill up. Just finishing watching Raw here, and I'm like, some of this stuff just does not make sense. You got 6 days to the chamber, and you're pulling out the dusty finish. It just doesn't exactly seem like a really good position, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a fan who pretty much watches wrestling every week. They're probably going to make it some way that you check it out on the network and try to figure it out that way. Sorry, I keep checking up my notes here. We'll get going here in about 30 seconds. Just got a couple people coming in. Hey, Anonymous, how you doing? You know what? I could be sitting here for a while, so you know what? I'm just going to get this show started here. So we'll get going in about 20 seconds time here. Alright, hello folks, welcome to Quick Calls. A little delayed from when we normally do it, but we're here, we're going, and wow, a hell of a CWC show coming up this past Saturday from the Festival Hall in Red Deer. If you guys don't know me, I am Mike Maloney, also known as Mike the Ref, senior engineer here at Backbreaker Media, and also the host of CWC Evolution. On the video on demand. Check it out, please. But anyway, a hell of a show from Festival Hall here, folks. I'm just, thank you, first of all, for checking this out on YouTube Live, or else you can pick it up on all our other streaming formats, as it will be simulcast later on. It was absolutely a packed house. For those watching on YouTube, I'm going to give a quick screenshot here. This is just following the main event, just as people were heading out. As you can see, pretty much every chair was full of somebody. I believe the attendance was somewhere in the range of 350 to 400, and that building can hold 5. So that's a real good start to the year, especially after having no wrestling for the better part of 3 months here. The last show was November 25th in Red Deer, so... But you know what? We could talk about the show, but let's get into the specifics of the show. So, we started the show off with a familiar face coming back to the CWC, and that's Commissioner Bob Gordon. A lot of us don't know why exactly he was out there, but he calmly explained that the head office wanted to do right by finding someone who could take control of the situation and be the face for the company. Gee, I think I know somebody who is taking over that in Northern Alberta, so me and Bob are going to work out real well together. But he did say that he had one contingency to coming back into that position, and he calls out Chris Parrish, who, I'm sorry, there is a reason why I don't wear suits. Very simply put, I do not wear suits that look like that. When you guys get to see the video on Evolution, you're gonna be disgusted at what Parrish looked like there. It looked like a cream-colored mustard. I don't know. He was wearing a Tag Struggle shirt underneath, so good on him for that. He calls him out. Then he calls the Cheetah Bear, Drew Dawkins, out, the CWC champion. And out of the blue, out of the blue to the Cheetah Bear, I actually got a chance to see this lawsuit a little bit earlier, but Chris Parrish and his legal team were attempting to sue the Canadian Wrestling Coalition due to not being medically cleared to perform at the Kingdom Come show in November. He was supposed to get the night off, and he shouldn't have been wrestling in the ring at that time. The only way that he was going to be able to withdraw his lawsuit is to have that day off reinstated for tonight at No Love, as well as make the match null and void, thus handing the title back to Chris Parrish. Now, there's a lot of symmetry here with Bob Gordon in the ring taking the belt off Jude, and Bob really didn't want to do it. None of the fans wanted to see it. I was absolutely disgusted by it, but it doesn't surprise me right now that Parrish would pull something like this. But be as it may, the match, the Lumberjack match at Kingdom Come, which you can see on the last episode of Evolution, Yes, cheap plugs left, right, and center. Is null and void now. And Chris Parrish had the night off. Well, at least his body did. His mouth didn't, because he got down to my announce table for the first 3 matches of the night here. Jude, understandably, was pissed when this happened. And he demanded to have some competition. He was there to fight. He showed up ready to fight. So they found him somebody to fight. All of a sudden you have the Wrecking Crew's new music with the General coming out. It's like some Confederate marching orchestral bonanza. I won't say much more than that. Besides, you had Dynamic Dean Richter and Maniac for some reason coming out with the General out to ringside. All of a sudden, well, we look like we're going to have Richter against Dawkins. Then all of a sudden they stop and they haul out Skylar Paris Austin into the ring, shove him in there, and say, have at her. Now, in most respects, I wouldn't mind having a undefeated wrestler taking on the former champion, but at the same time, let's face it, folks, you've seen Skylar Paris Austin, you've seen Drew Dawkins. This is not going to be a match. Just a quick shout out to All I Do Is Win and Andre C, who are checking out the stream right now. Thanks for stopping by. Now this match here, I was actually surprised that Skylar Paris Austin got as much offense in as he did. He got a few rights in. He was throwing them pretty good, knocking the Cheetah Bear around a little bit. But when it turned into a power game, Austin was no match for Dawkins. Now, I think the real turning point of this match was when the Wrecking Crew and the General just yelled, we're done with you, you're out, and walked away to the back. So Austin realizes he's on his own against the Cheetah Bear, gets some cojones, and all of a sudden he's now ready to fight and ready to go. Just sorry, folks. Just checking the comments real quick there. Chris Parrish is not the king. Anyway. Drew Dawkins does end up winning this match with the Abbey Road Crossing. But at the end of the match, he manages to give a token of respect to Skylar Paris Austin, who is absolutely out of it. I want to give credit to where credit's due. The kid gave a great fight, but against the former and honestly should be CWC champion, he had no chance. Let's just call it straight there. Now, going on from there, we had our second match of the evening, and it involved the newest signing I brought into Monster Pro Wrestling just a couple weeks ago. The CWC asked that they could get a gander at Jack Hammer, who has recently returned from a tour of duty with the Canadian Armed Forces. He came down and he was taking on Kato. And of course, James Crowder and Psycho Saraya are hanging around there. These two decided to get in there and try and mix it up with Jack Hammer. Hammer obliterated both of them. Crowder a little bit more than Psycho Saraya. Now the last two big shots from Psycho Saraya, she went to attack Xander Price at Kingdom Come. Ends up getting a good old butt fumble type stink face out of it. And here she ends up getting tripped up by Jack Hammer when she decides to try to attack him in the ring. Now that both of them are put in their place, ends up being a one-on-one match, which straight up, these two of the most phenomenal athletes you will see in Alberta today. And this match was really high caliber, really cool. Really cool to watch. You had still a little bit of interference by the Cat's Meow around ringside. But in the end, the Flatliner catches Kato. And 1, 2, 3, Jack Hammer gets the victory, and a very impressive debut for Jack Hammer in the CWC. Now going on from there, sorry, one sec. Cheap plug, guys. If you need a coffee mug, let me know. I can order some in for you. Okay, going on from there. You got the man who wants to be now known as Pride, formerly known as Jack Pride, coming out with Envy. Now, earlier couple weeks here, it was announced that it was going to be the rematch between Dylan Stone and Jack Pride for the Alberta title. But Pride, for some reason, I don't know if he realized it or not. I don't even know if he really cared or not. He called this the Alberta Challenge. He's opening it up to anybody in the back. And the whole crowd just went nuts. They all wanted Dylan. Dylan, Dylan. The whole place was coming unglued. Well, ask and ye shall receive. And Pride gets it. Pride and Dylan Stone are going at it one more time for the Alberta title. Now, before this match begins, one thing sort of scared me a little bit here. You got Envy at ringside. Not only is she dangerous around the ring, but right before the match, it almost seems like Pride had a little bit of a change of, I don't want to say a change of heart because he was a black heart regardless, but a level of aggression that just amplified after Envy put some kind of black paint all over the face of Jack Pride. It really didn't look good. I'll be honest. Just checking out the chat room here right now. We have a big chant for Jack, and yes, that's one thing that if you checked out the promo for Pride before this match, he insisted that Jack was dead, and this crowd was letting him know that Jack is far from dead, and it was aggravating him to no end. Now this match, these two know each other very well. They're tag team partners, the Neon Knights, one of the most decorated teams in CWC history. They know every move from hind for hair for each other. But going to the end of the match, it was a straight old dick kick. I don't know what other way to put it. A 50-yard field goal would have been made with that kind of kick right to the stones of Dylan Stone. It was a disqualification victory for Dylan Stone, but he did not get the title. I really wonder what's going to be in store for Dylan Stone and Jack Pride now that there's a disqualification victory here. They're going to have a rematch. That's obvious here at this point. But is it going to be a Clash of the Cup coming up March 31st? Is it going to be the future? Is there going to be any stipulations? Is Envy going to be around there? As far as I'm concerned, Envy should get the heave-ho once again. Seems like a lot of these managers should be getting the heave-ho around here for the kind of work that they're doing. But finally, they get Dylan Stone out of the ring, and all of a sudden, Bob Gordon's in the ring about to announce the next match, and the Wrecking Crew once again comes out, and it's Deed Richter and Maniac. Now, we finally get the explanation as to why Maniac's out there. He was a gift from Sean Martins, who is currently on the Tony Condello Northern Death Tour, along with a lot of the other wrestlers that congregate throughout Alberta here. And he wanted somebody to back up Deed Richter in this position. Which, alright, fair enough. But Maniac, really? Not really a guy that you should have in that situation, for lack of a better term here. Sorry, the chat room's going a little nuts here, so I'll just... I just gotta get my laugh in and go on from there. So, you got Richter and Maniac in the ring. All of a sudden, you have T.S. Cutler come out by himself. This actually was quite a while that the Wrecking Crew was in the ring here. One of my fail points of the night in all was the fact that it took so long for T.S. to get out here. I don't know if he got lost on the way to the ring, but which have you. He came out by himself. Massive Damage was not available yet. And all of a sudden, oh, I've got dings all over the place. T.S. Cutler wants to get his rematch for the title. Now, folks, in order to have a tag team title rematch, you need your tag team partner. For some reason, T.S. did not figure that out. And he ends up getting jumped by the Wrecking Crew and getting sacrificed with a package pile driver. Or, sorry, a package spike pile driver is a better way to put it. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere to come in for the save is the big sexy beast Bradley Graham in some very sharp looking gear. He looked very impressive. He looked like he slimmed down a little bit. Looked like he was tight, ready to go. Helps TS up. Nope. Taking him down, knocking him out, splashing him. Basically, I think he was looped already from the spike pile driver. But, sorry, I'm just following through on my notes here. I believe the exact words that came out of TS when they asked him if he was okay. I believe the exact words were, "Yes, Mommy, I would love more pancakes." Don't ask me why I wrote that down, folks, but I think that is the line of the night when you're dealing with somebody trying to go 2-on-1 against the Wrecking Crew. So, T.S. Cutler's out. We go to intermission. There's chaos in the back. Massive Damage comes out, and he's freaking out because his partner's gone, and he wasn't around. He was upset because he didn't get a chance to help out the way he should. So they had to find him a partner. So Massive Damage comes out. The Wrecking Crew is already out there after intermission. And his partner is the man who was singing an extra octave higher at that moment, Dylan Stone. I was shocked that he actually came out because, well, he's got a lot of intestinal fortitude, but his intestines were rearranged a little bit, so he wasn't exactly in the best of shape, but you know he's all heart, so we're gonna keep him in there. And this was a very good match. A lot of people don't realize the kind of talent that Dylan Stone has, just because he normally sticks in the CWC. I know as general manager of MPW, I'm going to try and find a way to get him into a little bit more of Monster Pro, so you guys can get a little bit more exposure to him. But going on from there, you have the match going back and forth. Massive hits that Uranagi, almost gets the 3, but then all of a sudden, Graham comes out again and attacks Stone. Just enough that the champions can hit a double team and get the 1-2-3 and steal their titles back once again. I swear, that general needs to be dealt with. I know he's even come after me when it comes to some of the comments I've made, even dealing with MPW stuff. But, Gordon, if you ask me, in my personal opinion, your #1 job is to take care of the general right now, because if you don't nip this in the bud now, it is going to get into a position where it's going to be a lot worse later. Ugh. It killed what the ending killed a great match. Like, Massive Damage and Dylan Stone should be the champions right now. It was a great match. It just, yeah, the challengers sneak out with the champions sneak out with the title again. I guess Shawn Martins would be rather proud about that. So, but then we come up to our main event, And folks, if you checked out the Monster Pro Wrestling Quick Calls and been following around on social media, you heard about, I'm wearing this shirt in support of the Irishman, who is on the injury shelf currently. Well, at least he was as of Saturday. I know he's getting checked out by the doctors this week, and hopefully he's clear to come down for the Power Rumble with Pure Power Wrestling coming up this Saturday. But you had Johnny Kick-Ass come out, and he had to show everybody that photo. The photo that I showed on the Ask the GM segment of the Irishman with his head split open, where he needed 24 stitches. Now, we all wish the Irishman the speediest of recoveries, but we needed somebody for this match. I know that they asked for my help a little bit looking at this, just because, hey, the injury happened on my watch, so I'm trying to help out a little bit. But most of it was on Bob Gordon to find an opponent. But it's his first week back, so he's not completely sure about what's going on here. So we worked together. One guy, we didn't have to work together that much because there's one guy that stepped up real quick. The man who is absolutely disgusted at the tyranny, the anger, the obscenity that Johnny Kick-Ass did, not only to the Irishman, but to Angelica as well, giving her the Johnny Kick-Ass double powerbomb in her match against KJ Cash. And that is Mr. Flex-A-Clock, Sidney Steele. Now, Steele comes out. He's in his gear. He's in boots, folks. And that's one thing that I was really impressed with. He wasn't in wrestling boots. He was in old-fashioned blank kicker boots. And it's little details like that that I really appreciate in a wrestler. Boots, jeans, ready to fight. There is no fooling around here. Now, there were a lot of things that happened in this match. You had one of those giant beer bottle tops, the ceramic or orchestral ones. You had a kendo stick that got broken twice. Got broken one way, then got broken the other. Both guys ended up using it. You had the guys almost going up the... They went up the stairs. They almost threw each other off the balcony, for Pete's sake. You're going to have to see the video to find out, folks, exactly what was happening here. Now, the end of the match, you had Steele setting up Kick-Ass to put him through a table with a suplex. And I'm sorry, that's going to finish it. And I think that's a little bit of karma for what he did to Jude Dawkins with giving him that injury, the knee injury at TLC way back in May. But all of a sudden, 3 masked men and a backpack show up. And they beat down Steele and they set up a top rope powerbomb, Dudley Boy style, through the table, which, folks, I'm actually very impressed at these two. Taking away the little bit of the gimmick part here, that table was a hell of a far way away from that corner. Kick-Ass had to throw some real power into that to get Steele through that table, and he did. That table exploded. They got the 1, 2, 3. And your winner of this street fight was Johnny Kick-Ass with the help of these 3 hooded men. They keep beating him down, and all of a sudden, here comes Jude Dawkins for the save. They sneak outside. They open up the backpack to find out it's the CWC Championship in the bag. And they take one hood off, and it's Chris Parrish. Before I get to what happened in the match, I'm going to explain what happened at the end here. You got Commissioner Bob Gordon, who says that simply he, I have no threats on my computer. That's always great. He said that, Parrish, you look like you're in great shape. You're ready to go. Which he was. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Parrish was ready to go tonight. He just wanted to choose not to go. So, that's the way Parrish is. Yeah, I don't really want to get started with that. But the next show, which is Clash of the Cup Volume 1, is going to be March 31st at the Abbey Master Builders Center in Blackfalds. It's going to be Jude Dawkins versus Chris Parrish for the title. Crowd goes nuts. Everybody's happy that Parrish might actually have to leave. And that's how we end up in the show. Now, question that comes up to me here is, based on these guys coming out, biggest question is why? Is Johnny Kickass in line with Chris Parrish? Does Chris Parrish have something against Sidney Steele? Was this just a commotion to entice the Cheetah Bear to come out and cause some issues with them? Or was this just Chris Parrish being Chris Parrish? The other... before I continue, I want to thank Pontarello Productions for popping in the chat room as well. And folks, thanks to him, we got a lot of great footage from this show, and Evolution is going to be off the hook here. So, basically, we're running into a situation here where there might be some alliances forming that we are not really sure of here. And I hope the Irishman is back, so we have a little bit of backup here for Sidney Steele. But the Irishman's tough. I'll be honest, I was really surprised he couldn't make it out. But I wish him nothing but the best, but I want to make sure he's 100% before he comes back, because he's got a hell of a lot to deal with here in the next few weeks. But let me get to the announcement that was made just after intermission. This is basically summing up towards the next show. March 31st, the Abbey Master Builders Center in Blackfalds. Talking with the promotion and the head office, most of the CWC shows are going to be falling on the last Saturday in September in each month. So, as well, March and April will be at the Abbey Master Builders Center in Blackfalds, due to some resurfacing of the floor at Festival Hall in Red Deer. So, March 31st, Clash for the Cup. I'm calling it Volume 1. I'm sure there's a better explanation for it. I'll get heck from the office later. It's a 16-man tournament. Last year it was 8 men. This year it's 16. Single elimination, 1 winner, 1 cup, 1 guaranteed title shot. I don't know if there's any better way to explain it. I'm going to try and come up in the next couple weeks to give you somewhat of a draw as to at least part of the bracket as to what's going on with the Clash of the Cup. One thing I can tell you is CWC, the Canadian Wrestling Coalition, is really good on social media getting their stuff out. So make sure you follow them. The Canadian Wrestling Coalition fan page is one of the best ways to get a hold of them. Or check out Backbreaker Media. I'm going to do a little better job of getting it out. I did have some fans in Edmonton here asking about the shows in Red Deer. So with the weather getting a little better, I can see that you guys will be wanting to come out as well. So time for the highlight of the night as well as the surprise of the night. I would have to say the highlight of the night, this show here was a lot of great matches where the ending just, a little bit of oompah here. Just left you wanting a little bit more. Like you got the dick kick to Dylan Stone, which I think he might still need an ice pack to soothe down there. So. Or else you got the 3-on-1 interference in the main event. So I'm actually going to go with Don't you love when I pause mid thought here? I'm actually going to go with the Kato Jackhammer match. That match told a great story, had a great finish, and it's conclusive. It's going to be ending right there. My surprise of the night, of course, it's going to be that introduction right off the bat where Chris Parrish gets his title back. Like, what the hell? I need better lawyers. If he's getting that kind of sweet deal, I want that kind of deal too. But you know what? I can't wait to see what the Cheetah Bear does to him next show, March 31st, at the Abbey Master Builder Center in Blackfalds. There is a lot more room, and there's a lot more people that can see Parrish go down and have a new CWC champion there. So, but that's going to wrap up this edition of Quick Calls here, folks. For those checking out on the live chat, I want to thank you. Right now, it's telling me that I have had a hell of a lot of people checking out this show. Please make sure you subscribe to Backbreaker Media on YouTube. The more subscriptions I get, the more likely I'm able to put more content on here. I'd like to keep it free, but for right now, a lot of the stuff's going to be going on the VOD channel. So, but the VOD channel ain't that bad either. It's $8.99 a month, but if you use the code TAGSTRUGGLE when you sign up for your subscription, not only do you get a 2-week free trial, but you also get 3 months at half off. So, what, $4.50 a month? I'm sorry, Starbucks costs more than that. Well, I can bet you Dylan Stone's coffee costs more than that. So, our next Quick Call show is going to be audio only, unless you guys tell us here that we should be doing more of this. It's going to be from the PWA show. I believe it's Fruition from the Northgate Lions Senior Center. That's going to be coming up on the 2 weeks, I believe it's the 24th of February, as they're on the road to the 17th anniversary show, with Tennille Dashwood being at the PWA anniversary show at the Nate Gymnasium March 26th. This week on the network, I should have the next edition of Madness up, which is going to feature that debut match between Mitch Clark and Rick Jules, the debut of the Danger Zone. And CWC Evolution, I'm going to be trying flipping these back and forth every second week. Make sure you check out the Sounds of Struggle with Chris Parrish and Maniac. It's the one time where I don't mind him talking, because it's his own show. He can do whatever the hell he wants on it. And I'm sure he's going to talk a lot about how he got his title here. And then as well, probably looking closer to the end of the month here, the debut edition of Total Nonstop Anarchy with Andre C. and his special guests. Well, I guess I'm the special guest for the first episode. So we're covering Monday Night Nitro, the World Wrestling All-Stars, and working our way all the way down to TNA, Impact, GFW, back to Impact 2016, 2017, 2018. We're just going to let you guys know how chaotic it really was. So, once again, I want to thank everybody here for checking out this podcast. It will be simulcast on the regular podcast channels coming up in probably just a few minutes here. So, once again, thank everybody in the chat room. And remember, folks, if you're going to make a good call, make a quick call. And this has been Quick Calls covering the Canadian Wrestling Coalition No Love Show from the Festival Hall in Red Deer, Alberta, here on the... Whoa. I gotta stop that. Here on Backbreaker Media. Why didn't you...